though, right?
Yeah, eat crap. Alright, now listen up. We're going to do the ceremony. Now, we get to part in the ceremony where we start doing toast. It's not for everybody to do, okay? If you guys haven't been to a ceremony before, during the toast, you know, keep quiet. Let the guys that are giving the toast give the toast, alright? Alright, first off, we're going to start off with a little bit of history. According to legend, our patron saint was a beautiful daughter of Dioscorus, a nobleman of the Roman Empire, believed to have lived in Nicomedia in Asia Minor in the 3rd and 4th century AD. Because of her singular beauty and fearful that she'd be demanded in marriage and taken away from him, and also to limit Barbara's exposure to Christianity and encourage her development as a zealous pagan, her father kept her shut up in a tower. But even such incarceration could not keep the young woman from becoming a Christian. From her window, she looked out upon the surrounding countryside and marveled at the living things. She concluded that they all must be part of a master plan, and the idols of wood and stone her parents worshipped had to be condemned as false. She received instruction in Christianity and was baptized. Shortly before embarking on a journey, he commissioned a sumptuous bathhouse to be built for her, approving the design before he left. The bathhouse was to be lighted by only 2 windows, in token of her faith. While her father was away, she had another window pierced in the tower, making 3, symbolizing the Holy Trinity. On his return, Dioscorus asked why she had made this change, and Barbara acknowledged her conversion. Despite his threats, she refused to renounce Christianity. Dioscorus flew into a rage and dragged her before the local prefect, who ordered her to death. The evil Dioscorus tortured his daughter, then took her to the high mountain where he beheaded her. Afterward, as he descended the mountain, he was caught in a sudden violent storm, struck down and consumed by lightning. Only his scorched sword remained as a reminder of God's vengeance. As a logical consequence, Barbara came to be regarded as the sainted patroness of those in danger from thunderstorms, fire, and explosions. This is to say, sudden death. Given the questionable reliability of early cannon, misfire, muzzle burst, and exploding weapons were not uncommon. It is easy to see why our predecessors sought the protection of St. Barbara. She has protected us well ever since. St. Barbara was venerated as early as the 7th century. She has been popular in the East and West since that time. Legendary acts for martyrdom were inserted in the collection of Simeon, Metaphrades, and by the authors, Adu and Usard, at the enlarged martyrologies composed during the 9th century in Western Europe. G.K. Chesterton celebrated her in a poem, The Ballad of St. Barbara. Patroness of artillerymen, St. Barbara was venerated as one of the 14 holy helpers. An occurrence of the year 1448 did much to further the spread of the veneration of the saint. A man named Henry Coke was nearly burned to death in a fire at Gorkum. He called upon St. Barbara, who aided him to escape from the burning house and keep him alive until he could receive the last sacraments. St. Barbara is usually represented standing by a tower with 3 windows, carrying a palm of martyr in her hand. She's often viewed standing by a cannon or holding a chalice of sacramental water. On current calendars, the Feast of St. Barbara falls on the 4th of December. Now read a little bit about Molly Pitcher. An artillery wife, Mary Hayes Macaulay, better known as Molly Pitcher, shared the rigors of Valley Forge with her husband, William Hayes. Her actions during the Battle of Monmouth, 28 June 1778, became legendary. The day at Monmouth was as hot as Valley Forge was cold. Someone had to cool the hot guns and bathe parched throats with water. Across the bullet-swept ground, a striped skirt fluttered. Mary Hayes Macaulay was earning her nickname, Molly Pitcher, by bringing pitcher after pitcher of cool spring water to the exhausted and thirsty men. She also tended to the wounded, and once, heaving a crippled Continental soldier up on her strong back, carried him out of reach of hard-charging Britishers. On her next trip with water, she found her artilleryman husband back with the guns again, replacing a casualty. While she watched, Hayes fell wounded. The piece, its crew, now too depleted to serve it, was about to be withdrawn. Without hesitation, Molly stepped forward and took the rammer staff out of her fallen husband's hands. For the second time on an American battlefield, a woman manned a gun. The first was Molly Corbin during the defense of Washington in 1776. Resolutely, she stayed at her post in face of heavy enemy fire ably acting as the matros, the gunner. For her heroic role, General Washington himself issued a warrant as a non-commissioned officer. Thereafter, she was widely hailed as Sergeant Molly. A flagstaff and a cannon stand at her gravesite at Carlisle, Pennsylvania. A sculpture on her battle monument commemorates her courageous deeds. We're going to talk about mixing the artillery punch. It's time for the master of the punch to come forward and prepare the punch in the centuries-old tradition begun by stone hurlers and fusiliers. Sergeant Overbody.
True artillerymen maintain a base for their punch in their homes at all times and enjoy it at their leisure. In preparation for our gathering, I took a quantity of my private stock, concealed it in a flippy, and buried it beneath a pigsty. It has been aging, and as tradition requires, on a moonless night last week we dug it up, and now we'll lay it down as a base for our punch. The base charge!
The base charge!
The base charge, ladies and gentlemen, traces its heritage to the mecca of all field artillerymen. Blockhouse, Signal Mountain, and ensure that the base charge for our punch is current and proper. Charge 2!
Charge 2!
Charge 2 is champagne, which signifies the quality of artillery, the king of battle, as it is well known. We are artillerymen lend dignity by our mere presence.
Hey, you better fix that bubble.
You're drinking one and then putting the other one in.
You just got 2 bottles.
No, you gotta take a chug out of both.
That's a real People be punch drunk tonight.
Artillery. There you go.
Getting the wine home over there.
No, you finish it. No. You finish it.
Oh,
He's
gonna be
Charge 3!
Charge 3! Go, master of the punch. Charge 3 is good corn squeezins. Good corn. These squeezins remind us of our early American heritage, our heritage of citizen soldiers who served honorably and well at a moment's notice.
You better make it bubble.
Open that bottle!
Yeah!
Go, Moser.
Deep breath.
You got it!
Let's go!
Yeah! That'll clear you out.
Yeah, man! Should give him that to Williams. Clears out. You did.
Hey, Sergeant Moser, no smoking for at least 30 minutes.
Somebody get me a beer? But it's so warm. It's very hot. Leave a little bit. Leave a little bit for the master. Leave a little bit for the master. Leave a little bit.
He's like this. I'd have been like this.
Fuck. Some good shit out. Hit it.
Come on, hit it hard. There you go.
Oh!